Welcome back. It is Div A, Div B. Peeze,
How's it going, buddy?
Steph,
That's me.
Eagle.
We need you wrapped in, not wrapped out.
I know I want to wrap around this thing if you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. I clearly
Rap
do not.
twice.
You know? Got to be warriors in this game here.
Got to rap twice. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's talk about Div A and Div B. As a lot went on. It was crossover week as well.
Crossover week.
Crossover week.
Yeah, as
What
we
is
see
this,
a
a
lot of
crossover
crossovers.
episode?
Yeah, it's a lot of crossing over right
Crossing.
now. Jacking up shots and stuff, you know?
Jacking.
You know? And racking. That's what they're doing.
Jack
right
and
now.
rack.
And that's what they're doing right
Jack
here.
and rack
And
sounds like a good team name.
open players. Never easy to do.
What do you think? Jack and rack?
What?
Yeah.
Jack and rack. Isn't that a good team name? It's a
Of
fantastic
course.
team name.
No.
All right, let's dive into it, guys. The week that was hashtag NR taking over and rolling over dad bods who look like bad bods, and Sean Avram pulling off a Sean Avram.
So clever.
Isn't a dad bod a bad bod by definition?
Yeah,
No,
but
because according to people, women want dad bods later on in their
all
life.
of those women are just lying because they don't want their husbands to know that they're leaving them.
Oh, makes enough sense. Makes enough sense.
Bad game, bad day for Sean Avram.
Sean
Not a
Avram.
good game at all. Corey
It's
Packer,
your fault, though, Mo, because you score kept his game.
Yeah, he blames us.
He
14 to
played
26.
me last time. This time it's your turn.
14 to 26 for 121. Corey Packer 148 on 20 29 passing. This was nowhere near close at all. And hashtag NR beating up on dad bods who are off to a very sluggish start this year.
I won't be. I don't know why dad bods are struggling so much. I mean, yes, now you're playing.
Well, now they play Division A.
Yeah, I know, but you
they're
still have.
expected to lose.
But
this
your
game.
team is full of people that could play against Division A guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it comes down to Sean. Like Sean, I don't know what it was, man. I don't know if you got scared or something, but he struggled and he took himself out. He psyched himself out, and then that's usually his weak point. As soon as he says that things are not going his way, he's done, and that's just what happened.
And Corey Packer returns to hashtag NR a week after getting injured. Hashtag NR is just better when Corey Packer's there.
It's a different team.
It is.
Different vibe.
It is.
They seem so much more confident, so much more at ease. He's a quarterback for a reason, and he's remarkably talented. People don't give him the credit that he's deserving of at all. He's one of the best in FPF for a reason, and this was the kind of game that proved it, where he just absolute control start to finish, and that bod. Like we can talk about Sean Avram's performance, but on defense they did nothing to stop hashtag NR.
No, it was a joke. I know from scorekeeping the game, Corey Packer was never under pressure at all.
Mm-hmm.
Never under pressure at all. And when you don't have a
Who rushed him that game?
in that game, I believe I'm just trying to remember who did rush him that game. I think it was like a collage of players that did rush him, but
A collage.
But I look at the roster again. These are no slouches on dad bods.
They're not. That's what I'm saying. They are better than the record described.
But it's the kind of game where you're not moving the ball, you're not scoring. The first half, they kept it close. The second half, once the game started to get away from them, it's hard to play defense when you're on the field all the time, and that's kind of what happened. When you stop scoring, you're just continuously giving the other team possession, and they'll eventually you can't play defense forever in FPF.
No, and I don't think he uses AJ Gomes.
He doesn't. He tries to. He always goes to him deep. I mean, AJ is more than just a deep threat, man. He's quick. He makes plays ridiculous. He also drops open ones, but then after he makes up for it with ridiculous catches. But honestly, Corey Packer is the kind of quarterback that would annoy the dad bod defense. And that's exactly what happened. Slow pace, gets the first down. He's 4th and 1. He's not going to go deep. He's just going to go for the first. And then dad bods, they always assume that someone's going big play. But Corey Packer, dissected the defense more, and it just worked out for them. But honestly, that dad bod defense has to improve. They have some solid players, and I don't know. They just couldn't stop NR this game.
All right, Tats, they make easy work of Dirty Dawgs. No competition at all. Dirty Dawgs definitely not on the same level as the Tats are. And the Tats, gentlemen, they are looking strong, and they are getting better game by game. And I was impressed by how they were able to really dissect this Dirty Dawgs team from top to bottom, winning 51-25. And Jesse Dupree is locked in. He is unbelievable so far in the first 2 games of the year.
So when Jesse Dupree catches fire, it's hard to put out that fire. Honestly, it's easy for him. He just has to get it going. As soon as the ball starts rolling, then he's good to go.
He threw 6 touchdowns and only 14 attempts. It's ludicrous.
It doesn't.
Is this because he's a fireman? Is this why we're making?
Oh, he's a fireman.
Yeah.
Are you promoting violence, guy?
No,
That's not good.
we're
Not
promoting
you,
firemen.
Eagle. Eagle's
We're
promoting violence.
firemen.
Ego is promoting violence. You have to choke him. But
Right?
like honestly,
Maybe it's just a sex thing.
it might be a sex thing. Maybe he
Perhaps.
likes asphyxiation. But in my opinion, this Dirty Dogs team, Dirty Dogs, just they're weak for this higher tier. They have good athletes, but like they should be in Division C, in my opinion.
Well, it brings up my point, which we'll get to.
They're not a Division B
wrong place,
caliber
wrong
team.
time. I look at these Div B teams. There's like maybe like 5 or 6 that are Div C caliber. That have no business.
Dirty
being
Dogs,
Div.
one of them. But yeah, honestly, they're just always outclassed. You know, it's gonna be a rough season for them, and you know they just gotta take it and learn from it. Maybe improve towards the end of the season, but I don't see them making the playoffs.
It'll be difficult for them.
It'll be difficult for Dirty Dogs to make the playoffs.
All right, we look at outsiders. They bring the beer to BYOB.
I watched that game, and that's another A and B, an A team, which outsiders, and B and BYOB. You could tell that these teams should not be playing against Div A teams, but because of the shortage in teams in Division A, they have to.
Well,
There was
there's
just-
another one that actually worked out okay, but we'll talk about that.
No, I
later.
know,
We'll
but
go
like,
to this game
no,
first.
I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying some of these games you could tell it's obvious that this is just bad mismatches, so awful. Like outsiders were just they were 6 guys, and then Pat Jerome showed up late. But Kevin Wyeth is playing on defense. At BYOB, they saw that. They tried picking at him, and it didn't work.
Well, it's also a mistake because Kevin White's a very good defender.
I know, but no, they had him beat, but Matthew Rene was just missing. He was
over.
missing open guys down the field. There was a play that he was running, and then
So is it maybe just Matt Rene getting in his head that
He-
play his Div A
honestly,
team?
I'm not a quarterback, but I could have made this throw that he missed. He was running. He had Marc Lapointe wide open. All he had to do was get it to him. He would backpedal 5 yards into the end zone. He overthrew him by like 10 yards. I'm like, how? I could have hit him. He's so wide open. There was nobody around him. That was bad, but he knew he messed up on that play, and he's like, man, what is this? I got to adjust. And then, you know, they picked it up in the second half, but it wasn't enough. It was too late at that point. But like Matthew Rene was off, and it showed, and it was hard to watch.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, now looking at the Div A game.
One game though that was good in the crossover games was You Can't Sit With Us going toe to toe with Braves, which
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah,
actually it's not a crossover game. I
that's
missed
the
it.
Div A
that's
game.
Div A
Yeah,
game.
my-
Yeah.
I'm sorry guys, I'm tired. I have
okay.
a cold. I set this up earlier in Divi. I have a cold.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, the big question was, can Alouette go toe to toe with Jean Tamu? Honestly, they played very similar, and it came down to Braves essentially just having an extra possession.
Speaking of
That's all
Alouette,
it
we
was.
have a trophy of his in this studio right now.
He'll be joining us periodically throughout the season. I think next week we'll get him involved, get his thoughts on Division A&B.
Yeah,
But
he had a bad INT late in the game. That was a difference maker, and you can see he was pissed about
There's
that.
Hollow X trophy.
And I look, it's one game, but the Braves at this point are the better team because
They
of
are.
how experienced they are playing at this level.
Yes.
Well, I just also think
But you know what?
I think overall they're probably the more talented team.
Yeah, but see, that being said, the skill level on Hollow X team is
It's
insane.
also except like at this point it's splitting hairs because
Yeah.
they're probably a little bit better. Jome is maybe a touch better than Holloway.
I would say that too. I would say
Uh,
Meyer has the quarterback advantage on Holloway. I'm
But
not
even
saying Holloway.
like George Gary P, Mike Pierce saying like they're probably the two best players on the field. Maybe Van Dram. Well, no, not even because Van Dram and McLean.
Van Dram
it's tough.
don't
It's
even-
again
Van Dram,
splitting hairs.
McLean,
Splitting
Millard.
hairs.
Yeah.
Millard too is there, man.
It's
That's all-
the thing is if especially in this kind of matchup where it's early in the season. This is the kind of game where Holloway can make a mistake. I'm curious to see this.
well,
I want
but
this as a championship game.
You know
This
what?
needs to be the championship.
That
for
being
Division.
said, Mo and I were talking during that game. Like this could very well be a finals preview.
Yeah, they can
Well,
play.
they're the
no,
two best teams in
This
the
could very well be a finals
You
preview.
might as
They're the
well
two best teams in
do
Div A.
the next 12 weeks of these two teams playing each other. Best out of 13. Here we
Best
go.
out of 13.
Best out of 13. Here we go. Just
But you
play
said
it.
there's 12 weeks left, so how's that
I
going to
know.
work?
Well,
Play doubleheader.
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 Out there. Okay, look, I talked about it before, guys. The fact that we look at Div B, and as I said before, there's a lot of teams who are C caliber. Is this good for these teams? Psyche, you mentioned Dirty Dogs, and
I would say the problem actually begins in C in that you have quarterbacks in C that are B caliber that are slumming it in C, and so the whole division, like because the division's smaller, we see a great divide between the top and the bottom teams. So because we have guys like Anton Sakis, for example, still playing in Division C rather than Division B, on the whole, it makes the division weaker. While it's yet another strong team in the division, what happens is that now, because it's not sort of like a guy who would probably be an average quarterback in the division, we see just top-end talent and lower-end talent and nothing in between.
Going back to your question, Mo, honestly, I don't see it damaging their psyche. His question was, does it damage their psyche?
Oh, I just ignored that part.
As long as they don't believe that, as long as they all agree that they can't compete. If they think that they can compete and they keep getting slapped, but they keep thinking that they can compete, that'll damage their psyche more than anything. But if they realize that they're just not good enough to beat some of these guys, then they'll be fine. But other than that, I don't see any of these guys thinking that they're better than where they are. But if they are, that would be more of a damaging the psyche, because then you think you're so good, but you keep getting wrecked. So how good are you for real? You know.
I just find there's a big disparity within that Div B ranks, because you have 5 teams or 4 teams at 0-2, and then you have everyone else who are 3-0 or 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have 2 teams coming into the playoffs, probably 3 if not 4 wins, maybe, perhaps,
maybe even less, right?
Well, if that's the case, then we have a real serious problem,
yeah.
a real disparity,
You know?
a chasm of whatever it is.
But yeah, honestly, it's unfortunate that this is what this came down to. That you have some teams that can't compete, but they have no choice because their rating doesn't fit C. But honestly, you should see that they can't compete with the higher guys.
Yes,
So the big question we always have when it comes to those QBs who are eligible for C or like just right on the cusp and everything has always been the whole argument of, well, I can't compete with the higher teams, or I don't have a team that I can go with. What's a recommendation for those teams or for those QBs who maybe want to play B but can't because they feel like they don't have a
suck
roster?
it up and go play.
No, you could always play, and then you
scout
see
the lower
what
divisions. Honestly,
there is some serious
Nick
talent in the lower division.
Nick Lassard was
That could actually
was in
compete in the
Division
higher
6.
He started in Division 6.
We saw what was the dude who played for Finest one season who started in Division 6?
Oh, Dansereau Leclerc.
Dansereau Leclerc, exactly. There are guys who play CGEP
He's
University
still
ball that are playing Division E. They're playing Division.
Scout the
Division
lower
D.
divisions. There's gonna be those standout players. And then after you get them on your team. Then after it comes to the whole building chemistry and stuff. But honestly, as long as you have
start by recruiting.
yeah,
get the guys
even if you
anything.
start like 0-4 or whatever, you still have time to recuperate, especially considering there's only six teams.
Yeah.
No, eight teams in Division
teams.
B or whatever. But you know, the lower division actually has some guys.
And we look at Julien Payman.
Yeah.
Julien Payman was forever a Division 5 rusher.
He's a crazy rusher.
He's incredible.
He's
Honestly, I would say
incredible.
that the best often the best rushers come from the lowest divisions. And
he's so
the thing
quick.
is, if you don't take the time to go out and recruit and then complain that, I can't find anyone, that's on you. Stop being lazy.
I mean, also you probably have other things to do in life than
Nope.
scout, but
Then don't complain.
You
then don't complain.
Like,
at that
Well,
point.
you
Exactly.
can't have it both ways.
In defense,
You
of
could just like
scouting,
chill out and just watch a bit of every other
It,
division
it
because
is,
there are
it
some
is a
players.
gutless move. You don't scout. You
Gutless move
True.
to not scout.
Really gutless.
Gutless move. Gutless move on others. All right. Speaking of the movie Twins, Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How did we get on this twins topic?
We're about to find out.
All right, fair. You
Isn't that
said
the one where he
speaking
gets
on the
pregnant?
movie Twins.
No,
Which is the movie he gets
Yeah.
pregnant?
Isn't the one
Isn't
where
it
he gets
twins?
no. Twins is where
Oh, no,
they
they're long
find
lost
long,
twins.
Long lost twins.
pregnant? Junior is the one where he gets pregnant. It's
But that
basi-
also has Danny DeVito in it.
Yeah, and Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger. It's
Yeah.
basically the same movie.
Exactly.
But just this pregnancy involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so does Paul LaPierre and Joy Taylor remind you of DeVito and Schwarzenegger?
Those
No.
guys remind you of twins.
Yeah, tall and small.
Oh, wow. Well, actually, Joey Taylor's not that small.
No,
But Paul LaPierre is
Paul
tall.
is very big.
Paul LaPierre is bigger than me. taller than me.
Like for Joy's offense, he must be like on Christmas Day. Like he has someone that's above 5'8". Like seriously, name me the last time he had a 6'3", 6'4" receiver as a
This
primary.
season with Paul LaPierre.
There we go.
That's it, right? But never
No,
before.
Mo, there was still a time that he had.
Danny Elbert's pretty tall.
Yeah, he is.
But he's not as imposing.
Correct. But you have to
Honestly, Paul LaPierre is very
As
intimidating.
imposing.
You're
More
talking about in
imposing.
position.
More imposing.
Paul LaPierre is very intimidating. He's also very tough to stop. As soon as someone throws up to him, like Good luck on that
Yeah,
battle.
but I'm just fascinated to see how the huddle plays out. You know, Joey's offense. Okay, let's run this, and Paul Lapierre coming back from a Harvard education of touch and fly football schemes, and he's got to go into this offense. So.
Honestly, for me,
This Joey Taylor is the Harvard.
Honestly,
flag football
for me, Joey Taylor's offense doesn't
Hartford.
make any sense. Joey Taylor's offense does not make any sense.
I disagree. The best thing about him is his offense.
I know, but it doesn't make sense. But that's why it works because
No,
nobody
but
knows what the hell he's doing.
it absolutely makes sense. It's occupying different space at different levels in the field.
I have 2 points to this. One is notice that Paul Lapierre is now playing with Joey Taylor after his Hall of Fame induction.
There you
2, Sean Abram never recruited Paul Lapierre.
I mean, maybe if Sean Abram was a Hall of Famer.
Oh boy.
Maybe if Sean Abram was a
Also,
Hall of Famer,
like,
Paul Lapierre
I mean,
would
look,
play
let's
with
look at short-term results. Sean Abram lost this week. Joey Taylor won. Maybe that's why winners in the Hall of Fame.
By the way, Eagle, we have a question for you. The Eagle question of the week.
him. Is that a thing?
Yes.
It is
this
So,
week.
Well, now we're making it a thing.
I was asked by the DA Div B crossover.
Mm-hmm.
The team in question, Bods.
Oh, that's a great
Curious
question.
to
I
know
heard that
why
question, too.
Vinny Gallon cannot throw in a Division A, Division B game.
So, good question, actually,
That's a
because
I
I
have no
asked
answer.
I asked the
Fantastic
exact same
question,
question when we came up with this. To give everyone context, this is not the first time we've done crossover games in since I call it the cap era. We've had them in co-ed. So what happens in co-ed is we actually, when you do a game versus the higher division, because we have co-ed 1 and 2, when we had a crossover to a higher division, we let the lower team bump up their cap for that game specifically to the upper tier cap. So, and I'm going to come up with an example. The co-ed B or co-ed 2 cap was 400. Co-ed 1 was 500. So we allowed the co-ed 2 team to build their roster or boost it up to hit 500 instead for that game. We considered doing the same thing around for the Div A, Div B, where when you had a crossover, you would actually have a cap of 545 and unlimited on
Which is the
QB,
Div A cap.
which is the Div A cap. But we thought that it kind of broke the system to a degree because basically you would end up recruiting guys from Div A to play on your team to try and fit those games and everything. So basically it would just turn into a shit fest of try and find the best Div A players available, stack them on your team for that one game, and then go back to your regular roster. So we tried to not do that just because of the way the teams are all structured. Good question, though.
Eddie Lee.
That was a fantastic
Riveting.
play.
Yeah,
Riveting
well
answer.
detailed. Well detailed. By the way, should we incentivize A and B crossover games?
Honestly, no. We
Because
just didn't have enough quarterbacks this
Let him
year.
finish.
Either they were on vacation or couldn't get a team together or wanted to take a season off. I mean, think about it. Dan Lazara, Marco Mathiotra, Ryan Kastner, Rob Mashtoop. They're all not. There's 4 teams right there, right? Nado Pures usually doesn't play in the spring and everything. So our usual roster of Div 1 team that we would kind of rely on and look at, we just didn't have them registering, and so. You can't force Div B teams into Div A, but we did the crossover as kind of a way of saying, well, measure yourself up. Everyone's playing crossover games, so if everyone gets blown out, well, everyone gets blown out, and that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, but should we not at least reward Div B teams that get blown out? Like we had the point spread in the Fall Cup, right? Should we not go like a soccer system? Hey, if you get, the World Hockey Championships, where if you lose in overtime, you get a point at least minimum.
so if you lose to a Div A team, you get a point.
At least minimum. If you in
So
a
basically
point
you
spread
don't have to
system.
show up and you get a
So if
point.
you're favored by 14.5 and
Oh, if you cover the spread. Okay, that makes more
yeah,
sense.
no regard wins the game, but they don't cover the spread.
We
they
had
lose.
talked about that for fall.
That
Cup.
makes more sense.
We
I
talked
actually
about
like
it
that.
even for this season as well to have a spread and
Just for the
whole
A&B
system.
But you get my point though. Like if it's 14.5 and no regard only gets 13, the losing team still gets a point out
yeah.
of it, right?
So-
That's what they did with the Fall Cup.
And
no?
the reason why we did this in the Fall Cup but not for A and B is because it is sort of gimmicky. Like, put yourself in the shoes of a Div B team going into a game against Div A. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to milk the clock. You're
Yeah.
going to play cover 3, which means that you're not really playing football. You're playing a scheme to specifically
basically-
defeat the situation.
You're part of. You become keyboard lock.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if you played a very heavy offense style of a FPF and you're like, we'll let them score and we'll just, turn into a shootout, you went into that game with a very different way of approaching your strategy. And if you're a Div 8 team, it was the reverse, right? It was we need to score as quickly as possible. We need to we're losing by 14, let's say, going into the game, which is not how we wanted to have a regular season play out. For Fall Cup, it's cool. But for this, it's meh.
Here's the thing, though, right? If, say, a Div B team meets a Div A team, should we not give them more value of the 2 points? They make it 3 points for them?
Yeah, that could have worked.
I
We
mean,
didn't do
just
it,
to
though.
change it up,
That's
like,
a
you
good
know,
idea.
I mean,
But only if a win happens, not if they cover a spread.
No, if they win, if Dad Bods defeated Norgard, they get 3 points instead of 2 points.
Yeah, that could have been cool.
Too bad you didn't ask me.
No, nobody
Well,
cares for your
usually
opinion
your
anyway,
ideas are pretty trash, so.
like usual. Nobody cares for your opinion either. Mo.
All right, perfect. As the eyes focus in on the warrior-like mentality that you guys have
You caught
as
me, huh?
Raptors.
God damn it.
No, I know you.
You realize I had spoken for 5 minutes?
Like this right here, man. Like a grade school kid, straight ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I swear I'm not watching basketball.
All right,
We are doing our jobs.
we are doing our jobs. Okay,
A
look,
version of that.
three teams at 2-1 right now in Div A. Is someone going to pull away the next 3 games and be the legitimate leader by the time we hit the midway point of the year? You have Outsiders, you Can't Stay With Us, and Braves all at 2-1. Is there a team from those 3 that will eventually pull away from the pack and become a legitimate number 1 team
Like
by
just
week 6?
one of them?
One of them. 1 out of 3. Who do you think is going to be the team that's going to pull away?
I say it's the Braves. Actually, you know what? In the end, Braves and You Can't Say What Us can both.
Look, it's a 2-team division.
That's a fact. Like honestly, like Div A, Braves, You Can't Say What Us. Outsiders are still
It's tough
there.
because honestly,
Honestly,
like-
you never want to bet against Kevin Wyatt,
well, I will this season.
but
Absolutely.
I will. This is the season that I don't see him being in the final.
Well, it's going to be an interesting transition because we know Kevin Wyeth is great, but now
Fantastic.
how will he transition when the finest no longer get all the best players?
And they haven't gone the best players in the last two
Nah,
two
they-
seasons.
Yeah, but over time.
It's eroded, though.
But over time, so like Braves came in
Yeah.
with a ridiculous slew of talent, and then Alex Holloway started recruiting at a high level, and we've seen what Monstars do in winter season. So like, that's something that I think is going to be an interesting transition to see. Will he be able to will we still see what we've seen from Kevin Wyeth, where he can't recruit the top end talent? Or will he start to? You know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
think
what
they
happens?
can,
What's
man.
next?
I don't think. Anyway, the point is, this outsider team is not this. Like, out of the 3, they're the 3rd best out of the 3.
Yeah.
I'd say #NR is better.
no.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I think top to bottom they're the better team. I think they're. I
But
think
But see, that's if they have quarterback stability.
well, if Corey Pecker plays the season, they are the 3rd best team in the division.
And guess who they play this weekend?
That's their matchup.
Outsiders, #NR. So we'll find out this weekend whether or not they are.
But see, the issue with outsiders, man, they have the core guys, and then after they have guys that Serge Pilon and Tam that brought in, like Wade Chalcross and FC Pedersen, or it's Peterson. I don't know. I have the Swedish vibe, so I'm gonna go Pedersen. And but see, these guys, they're good players, yes, but they are not very experienced in Div 1, Div A. So maybe that'll come into fruition until like from now till the end.
Mhm.
But honestly, you're learning from guys like Wyeth, Pat Jerome, Serge Pilon, Tam. These guys, they've all been there. They've done that. They know what it takes. They play together. They have good chemistry. You see, they're working together. They're playing well, and outsiders could probably be a surprise. But in my opinion, if outsiders, they have the issue of finding guys. Like if they have like 6 guys all the time. But like it's tough to play 6 in flag. Like you gotta play both ways, not much rest, this and that. So if they need to find at least another person that will be with them for beginning 10.
All right. Last but not least here, they play week 10, Tats against lightweight. Right now, who's the better team?
You know what?
Well-
I don't know. The Tats are a better team
They are.
because lightweight is just a bunch of people that Simon picks up and they
Correct.
somehow find ways to win. And
I-
Simon knows this. Everybody knows it. Like they just pick up guys. Like they
Well,
had.
but the reason right now, I hate to say it, is Simon Dajna.
Speaking of Simon Dajna, he almost Simon Dajna his game yesterday in
How so?
in Laval. So they're up by 15. Okay. So they allow a score. Okay, good. Now there's like about maybe 3 minutes left. So Simon, all he has to do is run the clock.
Oh, we're calling him now?
Speaking of Simon, cutting me off. Fuck.
You can't hear, so keep talking.
So we can continue talking because they can't hear the sound.
Yeah.
All right.
Just keep talking, Steph.
Well, so Simon, he had 3 minutes left, and he throws a pick.
That sounds about right.
He throws a pick, and then they're up by 8.
He's speaking louder here, Steph.
I don't know. I can't hear myself, so I guess I'm going to speak louder until I do. There you go.
Oh, now my headset's screwed
Now
up.
your headset's screwed up, huh? You see what you did there?
T'avais joint?
Okay.
Yo, let's leave a message.
Vous avez joué?
All three of us. Ready? Here we go.
Simon, pick up your phone.
Simon.
Simon, you're the worst. Eagle, you're actually the worst. Anyways, are you trying to call him again? Yes. God damn it. So he threw a pick with like 2 minutes left, and then they were up by 8, and they almost lost. They made the stop, but that Simon Dagenet almost Simon Dagenet this game.
Yeah, but honestly, like overall, he's playing really well. It's not mistake free, but it's fairly effective, and like he's got 121 quarterback rating this season.
That's like Simon Dagenet, like godlike level.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Joint?
Simon Dagenet.
Veuillez laisser
Simon,
votre
hey,
message
Simon,
après
pick
le
up the phone.
signal
I don't know what's
sonore.
going on.
Après avoir laissé un message,
Simon,
vous
where
pouvez
are you?
raccrocher ou appuyer sur le carré
how's
pour
Bods
entendre
doing?
plus
Annoying
d'options.
machines? Simon,
Simon,
you're
pick
come
up the
on,
phone.
dude, your phone.
This
Come
whole
on,
time I was
pick up
talking
the phone,
and
man.
I
How
leave
is
a
this what's
message.
happening?
Come on,
You don't
guys.
We need
answer.
updates.
Get your shit
Goddamn
together.
phone.
Updates.
Papino
Are the
has
Nets off the
games,
field?
guy.
Yo, I need to make sure you're ordained. Signed your
Is Rob
goddamn
going to have to pay
papers.
extra money for
Or
going
else my
past
wedding won't
12:30?
count.
Did they fix
My
the
wedding
Nets yet?
Won't count.
What's going on? It's a
Come
warm
on,
there.
Simone.
Has the
Get
sun
your shit
set
together.
on field 3?
Is it too cold? Is it too hot? They're fire.
Are you
I
upset
believe-
with Chris Dagger?
I believe
Chris
now
Dagger doing?
it
Is
is
Jeremy
time
right there?
for
Are you working field 2?
Games of the week. Poor Simon.
Imagine listening to that. No, what a buzz. Listening to that voicemail, you're like, what's
Here we go. Games of the week. Quick, so we get going here.
What division you want first?
Div B.
This has to be the worst picture of Simo ever.
I mean, there's a lot of bad ones. So
I mean, is there a good picture of Simo?
Not
Never.
this one.
No, like, is
Clearly
there
not
any
that
good
one.
picture
What
of
was his
Simo?
line? Score chicks or play football and score chicks?
That's a terrible line.
What was the line?
suit up, score chicks, be awesome.
Yes, that's right. Matt
You have to
Curell.
add the be awesome
Can you say
part.
that in 2019?
That's
He
Still
said that
does.
very often. I just don't think it was this year, but that's fine. Okay, so actually, there's 2 games happening tonight. We have Dirty Dawgs versus Dad Bod,
Dad Bod are probably going to win that game.
Dad Bods will win that game.
Dabos.
and we also have Dream Killers versus BYOB.
Ooh.
Give me Dream Killers.
Yeah, I'll take Dream Killers. Matthew
I'll
Renee's
take
off.
BYOB.
Why? Fair enough.
And then for Week 4 games, Outsiders versus #NR.
Ooh.
Hashtag NR.
I'm going to take Outsiders because I said
Hashtag
that.
NR.
Alpha T's versus 2.5 Alcoholics.
Alpha T's.
Tats.
Alpha T's.
I'll go Tats.
Braves versus Dream Killers.
Braves.
Braves.
Lightweight versus Dirty Dawgs.
Lightweight.
Wait, they're good to start
Lightweight.
4-0.
Lightweight.
That's
means,
awesome.
That means no Mike Mayock for the roadshow.
Oh, well.
YCSWU versus Jasmine and Sons.
What
You
did
can't
say?
sit with us.
YCSWU.
Yeah.
Oh, Yeekswoo.
You can't say
I'm going to take Yeekswoo.
And BYOB versus Dad Bod.
Dad Bod.
Dabots.
Dad Bods as well.
Match words, please.
Del Curry played for the Raptors.
3 seasons.
Now we know.
Interesting fact.
Good night, Seth Curry.
Seth Curry.
Well, his season's over.
So why would you wish him a good night? It's a
Well,
bad
why
night.
wouldn't you wish him a good night?
Because
kinda
it's a
mean.
bad night. He's not there.
Yeah, but like you can still sleep well.
I never understood why they call it good night. Like, I'm going to bed. How do I know if it's going to be good?
Well, cause,
So you have a good
'cause
night, you
Because
have
what
good
if?
dreams.
Because if you wake up dead, it's bad.
But how do you know that? Going-
By waking up.
That's how it is.
Okay, but how do you know you're going to wake up or not before?
That's why you're wishing someone good night. Don't die.
What if you have, like, a-
just say
just saying don't die.
just say don't die.
Don't die is less pleasant than saying good night.
Don't die is so much easier to say than good night.
Why don't you just say mediocre night? So, like,
No.
you're neither wishing them well, but also they don't die.
At that point, just say night. That's all. Just say night because it's nighttime.
So just facts.
So just facts. He said you can't go wrong with facts, right, Mo?